One of the characteristics of an effective coaching session is the ability for the coachee to develop a strong reflective intelligence. What do we mean by this? Most of the time people talk about reflection as if it's just another summary of whatever it is that they've gone through. That's not what I ask of my coachees. In order for people to accomplish more out of a coaching session, you have input. And of course, this happens for learning sessions too, right? Whenever you go through a training program, whenever you have a conversation, sitting down and penning down what you have discovered about yourself, what new input that was particularly interesting and why those things were interesting actually help you to get to an elevated awareness of who you are. Now, this is what I call self-awareness analytics, and there are various aspects by which you can do these forms of analytics. I'm going to cover a few of them with you so that you can understand the depths of your reflection and how that reflection is going to show up in your goal setting subsequently. The first thing that you'll have to do is to think about the immediate impact of your reflection, your learning, your discovery. How does that impact you? What experience do you have as a result of receiving this information that might be new or it might be old? So some people will just say, oh, I learned this, or I remember learning this. That's not a reflection, that's a recollection. So you want to do a reflection, meaning to say, how did that affect you? How did that change you? How did that shake you? How did that jolt you? Right? Those are the things that I would like to distinguish. If you are the type that is very process-oriented and you're very action-based, that means you're just checking off tasks on a to-do list, then chances are you're going to think, oh, this is what I did, this is the next thing I have to do, and so on and so forth. That's not reflection. As I mentioned, that is just simply taking action, or it's just recollection, right? I don't need you to recollect. It's already recorded inside the videos. What you do have to do is to make sure that going deeper inside of yourself is about recognizing what is missing, recognizing how you're responding to it. So, for example, one of the characteristics of a good reflection is when you start thinking about how you thought. That is known as metacognition. When you begin to think about, oh, I used to think this way, but now because of this new input, I'm starting to think in another way. This form of metacognition is the ultimate process of arriving at a positive new way of being. Those who are able to metacognite effectively are better able to shift themselves through time. But if you're not able to do that, that's precisely why you need to have a coach, right? Getting a coach, getting somebody who's able to point out what you're not doing well, and then eventually guiding you to what you ought to be doing better. So in my coaching programs, what I do is a process of reflection that enables you, and it's a very intimate personal session with yourself. You spend some time, half an hour, maybe an hour, just going deep into your own personal reflections. One of the outcomes, of course, you're starting to get in contact with the belief patterns that might have been limiting you. These thoughts, these cognitions are really important because once you start to realize that that belief is just not working for you, because if you've got a vision and a goal in front of you and you don't understand what has been stopping you from getting there, and suddenly you start to realize, oh, it could be a limitation on my part. That's going to create a massive change because now you know what not to do and what else you need to do. The process of reflection also starts off with feelings. What do you notice about yourself? How are you interpreting yourself? Is that biased? Are you aware of more biases and prejudgments that you've made? And by increasing your awareness of your own prejudgments, you get into an aha moment where that perspective then begins to change you. It begins to transform you, and it begins to establish a new way or a new norm for yourself. So internally, understanding your thoughts, understanding your feelings, understanding your belief patterns, and also the decisions that you used to make that you may or may not make again. Decision making is one of the most important aspects to journal down. I was having a conversation with someone over coffee yesterday morning, and what I realized was that the journaling process that a lot of people do is just superficial. You're just writing down all the things that you've done the day before. That may be a useful starting point where you maybe write down what you did on the left-hand column, but on the right-hand column, you're thinking about what you learned from that particular experience. And through the learning of the experience and writing it down, you cannot imagine why not writing it down is so dangerous. Like for myself, if I don't write things down, these fleeting thoughts just come in and they disappear. You need to have a space where you can literally dump all of your ideas, come back and revisit them, even if it happens like a year later. It's still a treasure trove of information that allows your reflective capabilities to enhance, and therefore the quality of your reflections is the quality of your transformation. The quality of your reflection is the quality of your transformation. You want to take a look at your to-do list. You take a look at your previous day and ask yourself, how did I fare? How did this day impact me? What was terrible about the day? What was good about the day? How did I feel about it? So, once again, thoughts, beliefs, feelings, sensations, decisions, and also new courses of action that you intend to take in order for you to create this gradual transformation towards the way of being that is ideal for you. So sometimes doing these forms of reflection require a lot of guidance. If you don't have that form of guidance, it's going to probably put you off track because there's so many things to think about. So if you think you're ready to explore a coaching relationship in order to transform your life, all you need to do is to fill up the form down below in the description and I will get back to you.